Tonight, the story of the courage of a champion. Freestyle skiing. One of the most spectacular sports in the world. It combines daring and grace, danger and artistry. At 24 years old, Mike Nemesvary was British and European freestyle champion. He led a life of glamour and excitement, of film stunts and television appearances.
Here he comes, David. 24 years old. He likes to get air. Here comes half, full, half, stuck in. Good form, perfect landing.
I've won the British Championships, the European Championships, and I've won 3 World Cups. My goal was to win the World Championships in '86, and following that, it would have been the Olympics in '88.
But Mike Nemesvary was not to compete at Breckenridge or anywhere else the following year. For 3 months later, during a routine training session on his trampoline, Mike attempted a maneuver he had done 1,000 times before. But this time, for a split second, he blacked out and landed on his neck.
I'd only met Mike a couple of weeks before the accident happened, and that was our sort of first weekend together. So we drove down to Hampshire on the Friday night, met up on the Saturday, and sort of decided between the barbecue or trampolining. Decided on the trampolining and went down to the garden, set up the trampoline, and we all of us had a bounce around on it. And lovely sunny afternoon turned into a disaster area.
So you go down 3 steps.
Hello, what have we got?
Hello, this is Mike. He's had a fall on the trampoline. We think he might have injured his thigh.
On the 18th of May, 1985, Mike was admitted to the Royal Orthopaedic Hospital in Stanmore, England. He had a broken neck and suspected damage to his spinal cord.
It was difficult when I started to stabilize because I wasn't able to communicate. And that's incredibly scary because you don't go through the accident with anybody else. You're just dealing with your own thoughts. They're incredibly confused. When I came to, I had IVs in my arms. I was being fed up through my nose. You know, there was a tube going through my nose. I couldn't even move my hands at that time. The only way to communicate was with my eyes. And it was just like it was going through the most horrible thing in your life, all alone.
Is it gone?
After 2 days, it was apparent that Mike's spinal cord was irreparably damaged, that he would be almost totally paralyzed for the rest of his life. Doctors realized that it would be psychologically fatal to leave Mike on his back the 3 months necessary for the bones in his neck to mend. In the hope of getting him up and into a wheelchair as quickly as possible, surgeons fused a small piece of his shin bone across the break in his neck. The operation was successful. The rest was up to Mike.
Well done. Good. Well done. More.
6 days after the accident, Mike's left lung collapsed completely, and his right became partially filled with fluid. Unable to cough up these secretions due to his paralysis, Mike's breathing was severely impaired. He was in critical condition. The physiotherapists worked frantically to bring up the phlegm in his chest and to re-expand his lung.
Good, well done. That's very good. Well done. Have a rest. More.
You know, I suppose a lot of people would prefer death over this, but once I started reasoning my thoughts a little more, I started to think it really is a matter of fate. How can you ever justify something like this? You know, it doesn't matter. I personally don't think it matters whether you're religious, whether you've got your own philosophies about things, but what justification can there be? I mean, I don't think anybody could have done something or have lived a life in such a way that they deserve to end up, or in my case, start off losing so much.
After days of intensive physiotherapy, Mike's condition stabilized. He was off the critical list. He knew now that he would live. What was uncertain was the kind of life that faced him.
One, two, three. That's it. All right? Take deep breaths.
Wait.
That's it. Good. Well done. Take deep breaths.
I'm about to pass out.
Is that better now?
Can I just go back just a tiny bit?
2 weeks after the operation, his medical team decided Mike was ready to be lifted into a wheelchair.
Can we go back, please?
For the first time, he was confronted with the reality of his situation. With no feeling in his body, he had no balance, no orientation to his surroundings.
Okay. Are you okay? Well done.
Less than 9 months after his accident, Mike attended the World Freestyle Championships in Tignes, France. It's an event he would have taken by storm.
Easy to get used to.
With him is Judy Ballard, his full-time care attendant.
I think we're riding the back wheels in the snow.
Stay on the back wheels.
On their first day, Mike and Judy venture out. Mike is nervous of the reaction he will get from his friends and colleagues, most of whom have not seen him since the accident. The snow is an inhospitable environment for a wheelchair, and his intention is to make it to the top where the competitors are practicing for the aerial event.
Watch. Okay, good. Watch my feet, Paul.
Swift negotiations provide him with the only form of transportation that will get him up there.
Hey, Senator, how are you, man? Good to see you. Hey, Heavy.
Baby,
How are you?
how are you?
Can you twist at all? Just the arms,
trying to
twist
do.
it, yeah. Good, no. Can't bring your shoulders forward, can you?
One friend that Mike relied on constantly during his time in hospital was Paul Chalmers.
Head forward this way too. That's it, that way, up, that way.
Paul was an athlete himself, and he and Mike had trained together.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay.
Why don't you hang by your toes, Paul? Come and join us.
What, beside you?
Just beside us, yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Sorry, man.
When he heard of the accident, Paul gave up his job and dedicated himself to helping Mike, regularly taking him on outings away from the hospital and integrating him back into the outside world.
Get up here for Susie. No, wait, my fingers.
Paul knew that one of Mike's biggest fears was of becoming institutionalized, and he tried to help, to give Mike back a feeling of independence.
I would have contemplated doing myself in had I thought about this type of injury before it actually happened, because I'm just so physically motivated. And that was my big reward and buzz in life. Now I think it's the search to find out how I can get that reward back.
I think if I'd had a relationship with Mike before the accident when he was a world champion, it would have been a fairly short relationship because Mike was never in one place at one time for very long, and his skiing was always his first love, the most important thing in his life. So it is fairly ironical that he's been put in a situation where he can have a serious relationship, but under such circumstances.
I only met up with Susie about a week before my accident, and she was with me that afternoon. And I suppose I'm very lucky that she stuck by me the whole way.
You go through some of it too.
You try to attract me. Now I feel like there's things I can talk to her about that I can't talk to anybody else, including my mother and father. There we go. Not far enough.
Not quite.
Okay.
Sorry. It wasn't until the trust started coming back from Mike that it became apparent that it was all going to be worthwhile. It was very frustrating to start off with, to go up and be very loving and very caring and being pushed away. That was heartbreaking because you wanted to get so close to him and give him so much, and he didn't want to know, he didn't want to get close. But then when he started reacting and relationships started building up, it was really worth so much. No, go on. If I don't got any bread left, I've got to get some of it in the river.
I'm ready.
Mike and I have a very good sex relationship. It just becomes a change in roles. I change from the female role to the male role. It's a more active part for me, but equally rewarding.
I suppose I had a normal sex life. Don't know what one is, but I think I had one before then. And it's continued. I mean, you know, it's different, very different, but I enjoy it just as much, and hopefully we'll be adventurous enough to keep it going that way.
I think Mike is a huge, great show-off, and for that reason he'd love to show me how good he was at things. And obviously that's one of the most frustrating things, is not being able to do things, especially physical things, anymore. So he's always saying, well, I used to be so good at it. If you could have seen me throwing a frisbee, or if you could have seen me doing this, you'd have been so impressed by me. But he doesn't seem to realise that I'm impressed by him anyway, and he hasn't got to go out and throw a frisbee. I can imagine what he was like throwing a frisbee, but it's not really that important. But he uses a dreadful show-off. Dreadful show-off.
Mike's daring hasn't abandoned him.
Oh, Jesus. Do you know how to lift it, doesn't it?
While in teen France, Mike traveled to Torgau, Switzerland, to try a new toboggan designed and built by Raymond Schnelby. Mike is hoping that this toboggan will provide him with the physical achievement that he so desperately needs.
Even if it doesn't work today, I mean, you know, the possibilities are endless. I mean, we'll make it work. It's great, actually, to meet somebody, you know, like Raymond, you know, who's so very much in touch with it, enthusiastic. It's great, everything's working out well. Just wait and see, 2 minutes. We'll see.
Mike believes he can still compete.
Does it help? Do you feel it releasing anything?
A preliminary push, however, reveals that the extent of Mike's paralysis makes it impossible for him to adequately operate the controls.
3-4. You have to push harder.
It's a critical moment for Mike, for after watching the championships at Teen the previous day, he has hit a period of deep depression, and without some form of physical achievement today, he feels that there is little point in carrying on. Raymond is well aware of the importance of success for Mike and tries to find a way of temporarily modifying the controls. Mike's biggest problem is a lack of strength in his triceps. He can pull, but he cannot grip the control enough to push it the amount necessary. The modifications are makeshift, but Mike is desperate to succeed. At the end of a day spent testing and modifying, Mike is ready for a trial run. With the weather closing in, this will be Mike's only chance to make it work.
It should take a bump.
Mike, to his sheer delight, is in total control.
It's great.
Well, here we are at last.
Yeah. I'm a bit nervous, though. I
Really?
don't know about it.
In time, Mike takes another important step in regaining his independence.
Well, maybe at this point we can take you through the controls that we've put in the car.
Correct.
And the primary control, which made it all possible, was the joystick steering system that you got your right hand locked into. Well, then we move on to the brake and accelerator that you have on the left hand. Forward is for brake.
That's right.
And back for the accelerator. We also have a beeper system here, which bleeps every time you press a button, which is controlled by your right elbow. That's right. Again. That's good. That's operating a range of ancillary controls listed here. Let's go. Can you just try the steering so we can see?
Yep.
That's good.
Full lock to the left.
Yeah. Excellent.
Full lock to the right.
That's good. That's good.
Brake on.
Brake on.
Acceleration.
Good.
Okay, here we go.
Good. Now just steer it across to the left. And accelerate. Excellent.
There's just something about being able to drive or being able to take somebody else around. I don't always want to be taken around. It's like we're giving myself back a bit of, I don't like to use the word power, but a bit of independence and control over my own situation. It's a nice little shot.
The 1987 British Freestyle Championships. Mike is here with a new sense of purpose.
It's a good feeling to be back in the mountains once again, and although it's not the first time, I think it's more important this time round because I'm not only a spectator, I'm here really for a reason, which is to put something back into my sport. That's what it should be.
For the past year, Mike has been coaching Sarah Gerard of the British ski team. He wants to see her as a world champion.
When you're doing front somersaults, in actual fact, when you think about it, you're doing a front 1 1/4 somersault, so it's bound to be harder to land. So you've really got to accentuate getting the arms out in front of you to come into some sort of balanced landing position, or else you're going to do your arm in every time. It's a blind type of maneuver when you're coming round for the front. As you come round, your head's looking at the sky. At the last minute, you see the landing. Whereas in a back somersault, you look at the landing all the time, all the way around. And I'll be up there to help you, and I coach in any way I can and to instill confidence, but eventually, it's all on you. Go for a curve.
It's the worst one I've done
Sarah,
today.
no. That's okay. That's good form in the air. You know, sometimes I just snap into a phase where I think, you know, bloody hell, I really have, you know, missed a lot and I never will do it again. And luckily I don't fall into, you know, that feeling too often. Because if I did think about how much I've lost, it would make me very sad and bring me to tears.
Mike needs more than a life on the sidelines. His powerful competitive drive has found a new outlet. All his hopes are pinned on a modified toboggan, which will give him a chance at a new world speed record.
Well, they are. Mike, what do you think?
It's bloody brilliant. It's pretty incredible. I didn't think it would be quite so big, you know. It's the whole structure of it is it's a massive setup, isn't it?
Right, Steve. Let's show him.
Go.
Right. Now, we don't have, as you can see, any restricting member across here. That's purely and simply to give you as much access as you can in or out.
We took the toboggan to Leon Smith's garage. They basically made, I suppose best analogy really is a Formula One shell, which went around all these adaptations which had been done to the steering and braking.
Once your legs are in position, and your heels and your ankles are right down on the bottom supports, they'll then be strapped into position.
It's a technical challenge, it's a physical challenge. It's not just a simple fact of bombing down a mountain, but it's taken a lot of people to get it to that stage. It may have started out as an outrageous, crazy idea, but we've slowly, hopefully methodically, brought it into reality.
That's right. Okay, Mike?
Yeah.
You steering?
Right. Oh, I hope so. Why don't we try going a bit higher maybe this time?
I think what we'll do this time is go higher.
And let go.
But we'll also let you go.
Yeah, let me go. Yeah.
We'll let you go.
No, I'm in control. I mean, I saw when I was going there, I was going back and forth. Could you see it? Could you see the skis moving?
Less than 2 years after his accident, Mike is back on the slopes competitively. In a toboggan controlled only by the slightest movements of his fingers, he hopes to break the world record of 58 miles per hour. On the trial run, the toboggan works perfectly. Mike hopes for a record run tomorrow.
Yeah.
The ski's going to act the same as this ski.
Perfect.
No problem.
Okay, well, let's take the ski off. Let's just actually make marks where we want these here.
Go down here.
Okay, are you ready? Put it on side.
Ready?
We got clean tissues. Can't really say what it feels like yet. I want to get onto the course and just see how it feels. The weather's closing in.
We're trying to find
A bit impatient, really. Just get on with it.
Hold on, hold on.
Just bring
Okay,
it
are you ready, Mike? Careful, careful, careful.
Mike, you
Careful,
ready?
careful.
Okay, what's happened?
Okay.
When it flipped over, we sustained a lot of damage to the toboggan. It wasn't repairable, so that was end of story. Everybody got home. I don't think we've really failed. It feels a bit like that now. I think we're going to win and we're going to succeed. Deep down, I do have a lot of belief that if I really have a goal out there, then I will challenge it and I will meet that goal eventually, some way, somehow.